Skip to this timestamp if you want to ignore the boo-hoo sad part of this video, but we gotta talk about this, guys. In case you didn't know, without so much as asking for consent or alerting its creators, YouTube has started to apply AI upscaling to YouTube Shorts. I've checked my own shorts, and this applies even to those. This channel is microscopic, so you know this is a widespread problem. I'm frankly disgusted that this feature is being forced on creatives. Disgusted to the point that after today's video, I'm going cold turkey on posting YouTube videos or shorts until this feature is removed. Any videos I might have in production or in drafts are going to stay there. In the comments and in the description are links to my Blue Sky, my Tumblr, and my Glomble should I choose to post videos there until this issue is fixed. I can't promise I will do that, but I am fairly confident this issue will be fixed soon. The media landscape around YouTube seems to be turning on AI swiftly, and I think YouTube staff knows this is an incredibly stupid decision, which is why they did it in secret. I apologize in advance to anyone who stumbles upon one of my shorts and thinks it looks weird and ugly, though honestly, just for good measure, I might unlist all of my shorts in protest. Let me know in the comments if I should. Please know that I do not and will not ever willingly feature AI or deepfake content on this channel. YouTube is doing this on purpose to blur the line between honest creator effort and cheap, automated slop. Viewers and creatives alike deserve a better platform for their videos. Putting aside any of my own feelings towards AI, making changes to published content without consulting content creators is a line that we should not allow YouTube to cross. If this is the last you hear from me for a while, then please enjoy the rest of the video. This video contains spoilers for the Matt Smith era of Doctor Who.
There was an old doctor from Gallifrey who ended up throwing his life away. He let down his friends and...
Doctor Who Series 5, my personal favorite season of the show, opens with the Doctor crash landing into the life of a lonely and scared child who needs him. Amelia Pond is a stand-in for Doctor Who's target audience, either as a literal child or as an adult desperate to indulge in a sense of wonder. An adult desperate for the Doctor to be real because the quote-unquote real world has been so full of disappointment. The Stephen Moffat era of Doctor Who was almost entirely defined by metatext. I could write a book of essays about how Moffat's stories were 90% of the time about using the show as a self-reflexive tool to analyze itself, its place in history and culture, its reason for being, its longevity, and most of all, its main character. And like a lot of thematic ideas in this era, the intent of using Doctor Who as a scalpel to dissect its own existence is seated in these very first moments of the 11th hour. That said, though the setup is all here, I think the first moment it's really clear what story we're telling with these ideas is halfway through the season in the story Amy's Choice, where we meet the Dream Lord. Amy's Choice wasn't written by Stephen Moffat, and it's a largely standalone episode, but in hindsight, the story it tells, and the existence of the Dream Lord specifically, is the axis on which the entire multi-season story of the Doctor, Amy, and Rory pivots. At its heart, Amy's Choice is a story about how its own title is a lie. About how the very idea that Amy has to choose between the Doctor and Rory, between quote reality and quote fantasy, is itself an illusion. But given the Dream Lord's nature, who is creating and maintaining that illusion? The Dream Lord is the Doctor's dark side, the worst aspects of his psychology, and so it follows that even if he really wishes he didn't feel that way, it's the Doctor who on some small level believes Amy has to choose. That she has to commit herself to him utterly, or go back to a life with him barely in it if he's there at all.
I stole your childhood and now I've led you by the hand to your death. I took you with me because I was vain. Because I wanted to be adored.
The Dream Lord is our window into the Doctor's selfishness. The side of him that wants to monopolize Amy, not romantically, but as someone whose job it is to shower him with adoration, to affirm his lifestyle and choices and beliefs for him. There is part of the Doctor that willfully competes with Rory, a part of the Doctor that gets a little kick out of belittling others' intelligence, though not quite as overtly as the Dream Lord does it.
Ask me what happens if you die in reality.
What happens?
You die, stupid. That's why it's called reality.
The Doctor has, from his very first scenes in 1963, had a very myopic and self-absorbed personality. The 11th Doctor is a particularly comedic personality as well, and Amy's Choice derives a lot of humor from just how much the mundane parts of Amy and Rory's life don't penetrate his attention.
You've swallowed a planet!
I'm pregnant!
You're huge!
Yeah, I'm pregnant. It's good to see you, Doctor.
Are you pregnant?
The Dream Lord, however, is a very serious portrayal of how deep that myopia runs, and it's a trait that will continue to pop up in this trio's interactions for as long as they know each other.
Oh yes, Rory, the universe is awaiting, but you have a little job.
It's not little, it's important to me. But what you do isn't all there is.
The Dream Lord is a villain, obviously, very callous and a complete jerk, but while the story opposes him on many levels, his presence is a very cogent and substantiated warning to Amy and Rory that the Doctor is a very flawed, self-absorbed man, who will let them down so long as they don't acknowledge that. And he does let them down. Constantly. Throughout the show, the Doctor keeps making decisions that hurt his companions, often by buying into or projecting his own hype, or putting his fixations above them. Rory gets shot and erased from existence because the Doctor needed to satisfy his curiosity about the cracks in time. Amy gets kidnapped and experimented on while the Doctor takes several episodes to realize she's been replaced. She and Rory lose their chance to properly raise their child because the Doctor spent a lifetime collecting enemies, something which eventually leads to a bitter and very stupid divorce. The Doctor accidentally creates a time-displaced Amy duplicate who lives 4 decades in isolated misery before eventually he manipulates Rory and both Amys into basically euthanizing her. And finally, he leads them to their deaths in a time period and country away from their family and friends, himself included. This doesn't stop with Amy and Rory either. Eleven's obsessive tendencies and lack of transparency also threatens to harm his relationship with Clara once she shows up. None of these things were done with malice or even entirely the Doctor's fault, but he bears a lot of responsibility. And with every slip-up or grave consequence to the Doctor's way of being, the spirit of the Dream Lord lingers in the subtext. The Dream Lord is the Doctor's worst traits personified, and the final shot of Amy's choice tells us that darkness isn't gone. It will haunt this trio for as long as Amy holds the Doctor to the standard of her childhood hero, and for as long as the Doctor very knowingly tries to fit that mold. And when Amy and Rory are finally gone, it may just haunt the Doctor for the rest of his lives, forever. The Dream Lord is the Doctor's worst enemy, because he's everything that's wrong and always has been wrong with the Doctor's psychology, without the filter of his morals or his charm. Even worse than someone like the Master, the Dream Lord is a twisted mirror for the Doctor that reveals an uncomfortable truth. He only appeared in one 45-minute episode, but I don't think the show will ever top him as far as incisive, personal, emotional antagonists. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to hear me discuss newer episodes of the show at length, I just posted a Series 15 podcast on a secondary channel. I'll be honest, I'm kind of annoyed with myself for not being able to get out a bunch of classic Who reviews over this summer, as well as Kingdom Hearts videos that I've been working on, but after seeing a video about this story by the Companions Log, I was struck with inspiration and compelled to at least get this out. If you hadn't seen my post sharing that video, it's linked in the description. Go check it out and subscribe to them, they're great. Subscribe to me too while you're at it. Those classic Who reviews are going to be coming, maybe even as soon as tomorrow, so sit tight.